Hi everyone, this is Andy from GizChina, and what we have here is the Newman K2. The Newman K2 isn't on sale just yet, so Newman have been nice enough to send over a prototype to us. They didn't even have any packaging for the phone. They actually sent it in a Newman K1 box. That's how new this phone is. So this is Newman's biggest phone to date. It's a 5.5 inch display. It's a 1080 display. If we just put that next to the Neo N003, the Neo has a 5-inch display, the K2 has a 5.5 inch display. You can see that the Newman is slightly longer. It's also got a bigger screen obviously, and it's slightly wider too. Let's pop that away. Alright, let's have a look around the phone. We haven't had much time with the phone, but you know what we have noticed that it is very well made. It has this nice laminated display. I'm not sure if it's Corning Gorilla Glass or whether it's Asahi, but we do know that it is a laminated display. It's also an OGS display, and it has really good viewing angles, and it's very crisp, which you'll see later. We've got capacitive buttons which do light up along the bottom here. You can't see them when they're turned off, and there's this crisscross pattern, which I'm not sure you can make out on the video. A crisscross pattern that's running all the way around the white of the phone. Not being able to see where these navigation buttons are feels a bit weird, but it's it's still usable. It's not a big problem, and they do light up in the dark. On the right hand side we have a power button, the same as the Neo that we looked at yesterday. On the left we have volume, external speaker, Newman logo. And this is a 12.6 megapixel rear camera. It sticks out quite a bit, as you can see. LED flash, and in the top we've got a micro USB and a 3.5mm headphone jack. If I just pop the back off. Again, like the Neo, it has this rubber seal around the speaker to stop any debris and dust from getting in there. We've got two SIM card slots. They're regular size, and we've also got a micro SD card slot here too. And if I just take the battery out, you can see that it's a 3000 mAh battery. So it's very similar to the Neo N003 we just finished reviewing yesterday, but it is bigger, that larger 5.5 inch display. Okay, let's turn it on. Okay, so there we are. The Newman K2 is powered on, and we've got our standard Android install on here. It's Android 4.2, if I'm not mistaken. Let's head over to Antutu, which has already been run on this phone. This is actually the K2 Basic, so it's got 1 GB of RAM, and it's scored 13026, which is pretty good. It's a little bit less than the Neo N003, but I guess that larger screen does take up a bit of power. If we go into the details, the specifications of the phone, you can see it's Newman K2. It's an MT6589T processor. As you can see, it's running at 1.5 GHz. 1080 by 1920 display. We have 1 GB of RAM, and this is a 16 GB internal memory on this phone. 12.6 megapixel rear camera, 4.9 megapixel front, Android 4.2.1. And there you go. If you just take a look at that, we've got these backlit buttons. When they go off in a moment, there you go. You can't see them, but they're there. All right. The first thing I noticed when turning the phone on, I'm sure you would have all noticed yesterday with the Neo N003, the N003 was a little bit laggy. The Newman feels a little bit smoother. There is still a little bit of a lag there, you can see. So I'm wondering if again a launcher is going to solve this, and I'm going to try that for the full review. Alright, let's take a look at the browser. GizChina's loading up. It's running on Wi-Fi. I haven't put a SIM in yet. And again, just like the Neo, scrolls nicely. Nice and responsive screen. No ghost touches. It's probably not as responsive as the Neo. It's a bit slower. Okay, I think there's also some games on here we can take a look at. For the real review, I'll put something else on here. It's not really that graphically challenging, but it does give us an idea of what the screen is like. So you can see. Alright, it's not very interesting. Let's go out of that. Alright, let's see what else we have on here. Let's take a look at the camera. And let's take a picture of something. Let's take a picture of the Neo. Okay, taking photos is quite fast. Doesn't want to. There we are. Has burst mode too. 6 pictures saved already. Let's have a look at those photos. Yeah, the quality doesn't look quite as good again as the Neo. The Neo seems to have a little bit better quality. This seems a bit noisy. But we'll take some outdoor photos too, and we'll see if we can improve that. Maybe it's a settings issue. Anyway, so this is it. This is the Newman K2. It's a prototype phone, just been sent to us. Newman will be launching a 2GB version of the phone too, with 32GB of memory. But this is the 1GB with 16. So we'll perform a full review on it, and probably by next week we'll have it all loaded up with some nice videos so you can get a good look at the phone. Alright, thanks very much, bye bye.